welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the remaining part of October. So mid-month to the end of the month for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see what major themes Aquarius is going to be working through as they go through their month. Okay. Let it go. Letting it go. This seems to be a major theme for everybody this month. A merry motive. That's interesting. So what motivates you, Aquarius? What's sparking joy for you? What do you need to let go of? Interesting. Great and full. This is such a beautiful card of abundance, and it's like the Ace of Cups. It's really a time of sort of an emotional transformation. And it's very prosperous, very abundant. It's great and full. It's your cup and it's ready, right? Like this is a transformative energy here, Aquarius. So, when I see these three cards together, let it go, a merry motive, and great and full. And look at this. Oh my goodness. I just noticed the numbers here. That's fascinating. Okay, so a merry motive is card 20 and great and full is card 4. And then the other card you got was let it go, and it's number 24. So hello. That is fascinating. That really says to me that you've got to let it go. You've got to let whatever it is that you're hanging on to that no longer serves, it needs to be let go of, because there is an abundant and happy situation ahead. And so something needs to be let go of. And when you look at even the math of the numbers of that card, a merry motive plus an abundant sort of transformative energy is going to result in you sort of shedding some stuff. You've got to let some stuff go here, Aquarius. I wonder what you're hanging on to. Okay, what will help support Aquarius as they move through the rest of their month? So let's see here, what will support Aquarius as they go through, that landed on the floor, as they go through their week with letting go, great and full transformation, and looking at some motives here. I'm almost feeling like a perspective shift is going to be necessary. We see taking risks, we see gateway, which is a beautiful card suggesting, again, a very transformative beginning will take place, and sort of a magical one with that unicorn there. This is really about discovering new aspects, right? And really being open, again, with that beautiful cup that you got with great and full, and needing to let go of things so that you can take risks. And I feel like evaluating your motives here, Aquarius, is going to be the thing that helps you find that gateway to this new perspective, which is going to lead to your transformation here. This is very interesting. Aquarius, it looks like what is moving through for you energetically here is getting rid of stuff that doesn't serve so that new things can come in and that you can have an opportunity to shift your motives. So whatever it is that was motivating you, you might need to take a risk here and try something new, okay? I feel like you're going to be supported by the universe when I see that great and full card. I feel like, by letting go and making room for all that abundance, you will be supported if you take a risk. You will be supported, but it's almost like some self-discovery needs to happen here before that. Now, let's see the full story here with the tarot. Okay, so there is a truth that needs to be sort of accepted before you move forward. And as you move forward, it's going to be important not to let the idea of, I don't have enough, it's too risky, right? This idea of taking risks. If you feel like something is too risky, because you might feel embarrassed or you might feel like shy, it's almost like go for it, because I feel like that's going to be the feeling to push through, is that if it's too risky because you feel like, well, if I do that, that's going to put me in a very vulnerable situation, then that could be the risk here. Vulnerability could be your gatekeeper, right, into this transformation. Something needs to be let go of, and it could very well be this idea that you're holding on to, that you can't be vulnerable. I feel like taking a risk is going to be really important for you so that you can understand something and feel like you're able to move past it. Whatever it is that needs to be let go of here, it's showing up in the tarot cards as well. And you're almost being shown, like, here, look, there's a gateway with a magical unicorn waiting for you on the other end if you take a risk and sort of accept this truth and then let it go, right? It's like if it's so interesting. I got to show you these. It's like if you decide to let it go and take a risk, right? Let it go and take a risk, you're going to be shown this gateway where all of the transformative energy you need will be there. Yeah, like the universe is really going to support you. And your motives, it's all about your motivation here. What is motivating you? And maybe the more important question to ask is, what's missing in your motivation, right? Like something's holding you back, Aquarius. What is it? Oh, yeah, it is being vulnerable. You are afraid to make a decision that is going to keep you vulnerable. You don't want to be vulnerable around someone. I feel like you're deciding about contacting someone or reaching out, and that might make you feel vulnerable. But this could be significant. There's a choice here for you, Aquarius, and this might be the whole point. The whole point about this experience that you're having might be, will you take a risk to be vulnerable when it really matters? Now, what's driving this is your worst fears. Yeah, this is the thing. You need to find a motivation that makes you feel like this. Nice and magical. See the beautiful stars. This is a very, it sparks joy, that motivation. This is the energy of someone who is worried about their worst fear being the outcome of a situation. So no wonder you're not wanting to take a risk. That makes sense. I wouldn't want to take a risk if I thought that my worst outcome was going to come true. But the interesting thing, Aquarius, is that your mind is an incredible machine. It creates the reality. So if you're up all night saying, if I make this choice, this is what's going to happen, then guess what? This is what's going to happen. So it's important to, again, look at those motives as you take risks to be vulnerable. I really think that's the theme of your reading here, is being vulnerable. Now, I can see that in the past you felt very uncertain about yourself, about this situation. You thought you knew yourself, Aquarius, and then here's the Queen of Swords in reverse to say, no, you didn't. You know, now we're uncertain. Okay. Now it's interesting because the Queen of Swords is, it's very much Libra energy. It's not Aquarius, but it is an air sign. So it's sort of like you've got the Five of Swords and the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Well, the Nine of Swords is definitely Aquarius. Or the Five of Swords is definitely Aquarius. So the Aquarius energy is here. We've got Gemini energy here with the Nine of Swords. And then you've got Libra energy here. So lots of air energy here, which says to me that this is playing games on your mind. This situation is keeping your mind very much occupied with how it could turn out so bad, how if you're vulnerable, it could be so embarrassing, or how if you have to face the truth of this, that could be put you in a situation where you feel insecure. It's interesting. Now, it seems like as you go forward, you're going to be re-establishing who you are as an authority. So I'm more convinced than anything here, what needs to be let go of is this sort of old you. It's almost like there's an old you that is afraid to be the new you. It's afraid to come out and say, this is who I am. you know, wearing your new clothes, wearing your new beliefs, speaking your new talk, your new self-talk, talking about your new perceptions. Okay, Aquarius, it's like you're afraid of that. You're afraid to be vulnerable, but you know it's necessary. You know it's necessary. Yeah, there's the Page of Swords. There's a part of you that wants to just keep all of this close to your chest. You're like, I don't need to communicate any of this to anybody because that's going to make me look bad, or that's going to make me feel embarrassed, or that's going to make me look like I am weak. It's like you're afraid to be vulnerable, and as a result, you're not sharing a lot of this. You're keeping a lot of this close to your chest, and it's almost like you've got this new vibe, and you're afraid to show it. You're afraid to share it and show it, and I feel like it involves communication. I feel like this is involving you speaking to someone, maybe someone you haven't spoken to in a while, or maybe someone where the last time you spoke to them, you were a different person. So you're vulnerable. You don't want to show them your new self, because what if they make fun of you? What if they yell at you? You know, it feels like those are the worries you have on your mind. Like you're worried how you're going to be received by others. It's very interesting. Yeah. This could involve a Capricorn. We got the Devil in reverse here. This could involve a Capricorn, or it could be you being torn by the ego or spirit. Ego, spirit. Ego, spirit, ego, spirit. Old you, new you. Old you, new you. Again, motives. What's motivating you? Are you being motivated by the ego? So you're being motivated then by fear, by the idea that you must appear a certain way, that, you know, this idea of you being vulnerable and uncertain, that's not how you want to appear, because that can be taking a risk. So you know, or are you veering towards the idea of following your intuition, sharing your spirituality, not living in the bright shadow? That's what Carl Jung used to phrase this as, is where we deny our spiritual selves, where we deny our true selves, and we just fall in line with the autopilot of the ego that just wants us to pursue pleasure. And the ego will always create fear around anything that involves leaving the comfort zone. Okay, so it's interesting. This is all coming down to, you know, are you going to hang on to that old you that sort of would have played into this? I feel like your hope and fear regarding this situation is that you'll move past it. But again, it's a choice. That's the interesting thing, is that this is all up to you, Aquarius. This is all up to you. Now, at the end of this, I feel like if you pursue the path that leads to not taking a risk, or, you know, sort of not letting go, not allowing that transformation to happen, not accepting the truth that needs to be accepted. You got the Five of Swords here. Then we see the Five of Pentacles upright. So the Five of Pentacles upright suggests setback. So it's almost like maybe you need to walk this path so that you sort of have a minor setback, so that you can motivate yourself again. But it's interesting. It's almost like the messaging we're getting here for you, Aquarius, is that if you keep on the path of hanging on to things that no longer serve you, instead of sort of accepting the truth of the issue in front of you, that you've changed, and that your motives has changed, and that, you know, your perspective on a situation has become uncertain, where it was very sure maybe in the past. It's almost like if you sort of deny that, and you don't take the risk to let it all go and start a new path forward with this gateway, beautiful gateway card, and this full chalice here, I feel like you're going to just keep sort of experiencing the same setbacks that you keep experiencing until you sort of get the point, okay? We've got the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, but he's in reverse. So that suggests to me that right now you're not feeling up to challenges in the physical world. You're feeling like You don't know how to create that inner movement that you usually know how to do. It's your confidence. Your confidence has been impacted and you don't want to appear vulnerable. And so it's interesting, Aquarius. This is fascinating. I feel like you're like a few steps away from this gateway into this brand new pathway where you're going to have this like brand new perspective, brand new understanding of stuff. And it is going to involve letting go of stuff, though. You're going to have to let go of the old to make room for the new. I'm going to leave it at that for you, Aquarius. If this reading has resonated and you would like a personal reading, my email's in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, watching, and subscribing. And we will see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends. Have a great month.